Hey everybody, have you ever looked into your dog's eyes and thought, why did you pick me? Like seriously, out of all the species on this planet, squirrels, deer, other wolves, why did dogs choose to live with us? And here's where it gets weird. What if I told you it wasn't really about love? What if it wasn't about loyalty? What if, deep down, it was about survival? Buckle up, because the real story of how dogs came to choose humans isn't the cute fairy tale we've been telling ourselves for years. It's darker, it's stranger, and honestly, it changes the way you'll look at your dog forever. We're talking 15,000 years of hidden history, a brutal ice age, a shocking biological trick, and one move so clever that scientists are still blown away by it today. And I'll tell you the one thing your dog is doing right now that proves all of this is true. Stick around because that part will completely change how you see that furry little face. Let's get into it. Okay, so picture this. It's 15,000 years ago. The world is locked in a brutal ice age. It is cold, like dangerously, bone-chillingly cold. And wolves, the big scary ancestors of your little couch potato, are struggling. Every single day is a fight for survival. Food is scarce. Temperatures are deadly. Now on the other side, you've got early humans, also struggling, also freezing, also fighting to survive. Here's the thing, though. Humans had something wolves didn't: fire, shelter, and leftover meat. See, when hunters made a kill during those harsh winters, they'd take the fat. That's what humans needed to survive the cold. But all that lean, leftover protein, they couldn't eat too much of it. Lean meat without fat actually makes humans sick. So what did they do with it? They tossed it. And guess who was watching from the shadows? A few very hungry, very smart wolves. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most wolves ran away from humans because humans were terrifying. But a small number of wolves, the calmer ones, the less aggressive ones, they edged closer. And those wolves ate, while the aggressive ones went hungry. This wasn't a human decision. Nobody sat down and said, let's domesticate a wolf today. The wolves made the first move. They chose us because we had food and they needed to survive. Now here's where science gets really dark and really fascinating at the same time. Those friendly wolves who hung around humans, they had babies. And those babies were also calmer. And those babies also stuck around humans. And generation after generation after generation, something extraordinary started happening. They started to change, not because anyone forced them to, but because friendliness was now the key to survival. The aggressive wolves, killed or driven away by humans. The fearful wolves, they starved alone in the wild. But the friendly ones, they got fed, they got protected, they thrived. Scientists call this survival of the friendliest. Think about that for a second. We will always hear about survival of the fittest, the strongest, the fastest, the most dangerous. But in this case, the winners were the ones who smiled. Okay, so here's the part that I cannot stop thinking about. As generations of proto-dogs evolved around humans, something sneaky happened. Something almost unbelievable. They grew a new muscle in their face. I'm not joking. Scientists dissected dogs and wolves and found that dogs have a small but powerful facial muscle right above the inner eyebrow that wolves do not have. This muscle does one thing. It lifts the inner eyebrow just slightly, just enough to make their eyes look bigger, rounder, sadder. You know the look. You felt the look. That look that makes you immediately want to say, "aw," and hand over whatever's in your hand. Scientists call this the puppy dog eyes muscle. And here's the dark part. It didn't evolve by accident. Over thousands of years, the dogs that could make this face got more food, more care, more protection. The ones who couldn't, they were ignored. So evolution selected for the ones that could make you feel things. Your dog's sad eyes aren't just cute. They are a 15,000-year-old biological strategy designed by evolution itself to trigger your parental instincts. When your dog looks at you with those big, soft eyes, your brain releases oxytocin, the same love hormone a mother feels when she looks at her newborn baby. Your dog didn't just choose humans. They figured out how to rewire our brains. Now here's the part that really gets me. During the Ice Age, tons of incredible animals went extinct. The woolly mammoth, the saber-toothed tiger, the dire wolf, which was actually bigger and stronger than the wolves that became dogs. The dire wolf lost. The proto-dog won. Why? Because the proto-dog made a choice, or rather, it made an adaptation. It stopped competing with humans and started living alongside them. Every other large predator tried to survive on their own terms. The proto-dog tried something different. It got closer. It got friendlier. It made itself useful. And humans, without even realizing it, became the greatest survival advantage a canine ever found. Think about it. We fed them. We protected them from other predators. We gave them warmth by the fire. We carried them across continents. Dogs didn't become man's best friend because they loved us. They became man's best friend because it was the smartest survival move in the history of the animal kingdom. Okay, wait. Before you look at your dog with suspicious eyes, I have to tell you something important. Yes, it started as survival. Yes, there's a biological trick. Yes, science shows dogs evolved to manipulate our emotions. But here's the thing, so did we. Humans evolved the ability to bond with dogs too. Our brains release oxytocin when we look at them, the same as they do when they look at us. It became a two-way street. Scientists studying this call it a mutual hijacking. Dogs hijacked our parental instincts, but we also hijacked their pack loyalty. What started as a cold survival transaction, scraps for safety, turned into something real. Over 15,000 years, two species rewired each other's brains, shaped each other's evolution, and built a bond that has outlasted empires, ice ages, and every other relationship humans have ever formed with any animal. Is that dark? A little. Is that also kind of the most beautiful thing you've ever heard? Yeah, I thought so. So the next time your dog gives you that look, the soft eyes, the tilted head, the slow blink, just remember, that look took 15,000 years to perfect. It survived an ice age. It outlasted the saber-toothed tiger. It rewired a species, and it's working on you right now. Now here's your bonus, irresistible, and it's a good one. When you make soft, gentle eye contact with your dog and speak to them in a calm, loving voice, both of you release oxytocin at the same exact moment. You are literally sharing a love hormone together. That didn't exist between wolves and humans 15,000 years ago. It had to be built, slowly, imperfectly, and beautifully, over thousands of years of living side by side. So no, your dog didn't choose you because you're special. But after 15,000 years, you kind of became special to each other.